It has officially been a week now since we received WELSH Interactive's roadmap for Sker Rituals, in which we were able to see the future content coming to the game. Inside of this video, we're going to be focusing on the map that's coming out in July, House of the Damned. This new map is going to come with a new special weapon, new perks, new hardcore Easter egg, and also for the first time, Easter egg music. In May, we have received the most recent update that was promised on this roadmap, bringing system optimization and making the game more stable, along with introducing a new aim down sight slider and new leaderboards. We are yet to see the introduction of weapon FOV and further optimizations. For anybody who isn't aware, who is wondering, is this going to be DLC that you have to pay for? No, this is going to be 3 DLC. This is coming with the base game, so if you already own Sker Ritual, you will have access to this map on launch. In today's video, we are going to be diving into some lore in the real world and also some in the fictional world, as we try to uncover what we can expect from this map. For context of this video, in Wales there is a house called Sker House. This house is famous based off of its age and also the fact that it had a book wrote about it. It's very obvious that WELSH Interactive took inspiration from the book. The book, ironically, was called Made of Sker, which is also a name of a game, the predecessor to this game, Made of Sker, made by WELSH Interactive. In the Welsh folklore, it was said that Elizabeth Williams lived here with her father. Elizabeth was said to have died of a broken heart after being locked in a room in the house by her father to stop her from marrying her lover. This is similar to the storyline that we can see in Made of Sker, where Thomas goes to Sker Island believing that Elizabeth is trapped in the hotel by her father, Isaac. Elizabeth Williams was a real person. In reality, she was married to a Thomas Kirkhouse in 1766. However, she was loved by another man, Thomas Evans, a harpist from Newton. Her father, who was called Isaac Williams, was greatly disliked in the neighbourhood, as he had taken cargo from a French shipwreck and he kept the fortune for himself instead of sharing it with the locals. They felt as if they didn't get their fair share. Elizabeth was buried in January 1776 before her 30th birthday. Although the folklore says Isaac didn't approve of her relationship, there is no factual information to suggest he looked at Elizabeth in a room or that she died of a broken heart. I am completely aware that a lot of this is just folklore and doesn't belong with Sker Rituals' main story. However, I do find it interesting the similarities between the folklore and how WELSH Interactive were definitely inspired by it. As for House of the Damned, it is very similar to Sker Hotel, which we technically already have as the Ashes of Sker Hotel. So I highly doubt that we're gonna get Sker Hotel Part 2, and as we currently want fresh content, we wouldn't want that. So I'm going to assume that House of the Damned takes place on Sker Island but in a different location, and I believe it will still take inspiration from Sker House. The next part of the video is going to contain spoilers regarding Deadly Lover's Fortress, so if you don't know the story, then maybe come back when you do. With the spoiler warning placed, let's get on with this. At the end of Deadly Lover's Fortress, you finally defeat Elizabeth and put an end to the siren song. Arwen apologizes to her mother as she passes away. Eventually, it will fade to black and you are on a train. In this scene, you'll see Arwen give her father his identity back, and it seems like the story ends here, as you hear a voice on the radio claiming that civilization has returned to normal. So that begs me to think, if the story's come to an end, there is one of 2 different possibilities. We know Elizabeth could clone people, as she did it to her own family. So did we kill the right Elizabeth, or was she a clone, like Arwen's father? And if so, where is the real Elizabeth? And is this just a temporary thing, where eventually the civilization will go crazy again, and continue to be under her control? Or our second possibility is that House of the Damned is actually going to be set as a prequel, similar to some film franchises. For example, something like Star Wars. Either way, I'd like to see a prequel, but I would like to also see a sequel, as a part of me wants to see the start of Elizabeth's story, but also a continuation of Arwen's story. If I had to speculate, I would say this map is a prequel. Judging from the promotional image for House of the Damned, we can assume the map will take place inside of a forest at nighttime. If you look at the house, you can see that it looks like it's on fire, but you can also see someone who is hanging near the door. We can also see what we believe to be Isaac and Abraham stalking the house. I think this map could easily take inspiration from World War II's Grafston House, but more so the tutorial version that you get when you first load up World War II Zombies, as I think that we will probably probably get like a courtyard area surrounded by a forest. It would be interesting to see this during the daytime and a map that has a little bit more light, because at the moment we have a lot of dark toned maps. And I know myself and a lot of people that have been playing, especially in the Discord, have voiced how they would like a daytime map, so it would be quite refreshing. With this particular map, I can't really speculate on what the hardcore Easter egg will be or what it will entail, as we are yet to find out if this is a continuation of the story or if this is something from the past in the story. I made a joke that the special weapon for this map is going to be a frying pan, which it definitely isn't going to be, but it would be quite funny if there was a frying pan. I really don't know what the connection with the frying pan in the House of the Damned was, but that was just something I immediately was drawn to. Hopefully though, the special weapon is going to be 10 times better than some frying pan, and I really can't wait to see what we get. What I do hope though is that the special weapon is a little harder to get whilst also very rewarding, so I'm hoping it has its own quest and that it hits real hard. I also want to say I really like the introduction of folklore, and I'd love to see more of this in Sker Ritual. If the folklore in Sker Ritual got much deeper, I would love to make videos about it. I really love it when real life history and legends get added to a game and incorporated into their story, so I'd love to see more of this. As for the new music Easter egg, I really hope this is a side Easter egg and that you will have to trigger this by having to do steps that are completely separate from the main objective. I think a future piece of content that I mentioned in my review, which is going to be coming out shortly, that I want to briefly touch on in this video, I would really like to see different endings and different cutscenes based on whether if you do the hardcore Easter egg or the regular one. Anyways guys, if you have any suggestions on what this map will entail, then please let me know down in the comments down below. I would love to read what you have to say. If you haven't already, then please make sure to smash that like button and consider to subscribe today to join the Super Fudge Army. Also, I have you covered if you need any guides for Sker Ritual. Make sure to stay tuned, as when this map drops, I will have loads of content coming out on my channel. Anyways guys, I was Social7, you've been absolutely awesome, and I shall see you in my next video.